Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Portland Press Herald Varsity Maine Championship Basketball Preview. I'm Mike Lowe, joined by Steve Craig and Michael Hoffer of The Forecaster. Today we're just going to talk a little bit about the upcoming games, and let's start with the boys, the Class A championship games on Thursday night. Michael?
You know, really, I'm shocked that they're back here at 21-0. I mean, you lose a player like Matt McDevitt, who won Mr. Maine basketball last year, and Jordan Bagshaw and Ryan Twitchell, who was kind of their glue guy. You don't usually replace players like that and have an undefeated record and get back to the state game. So, testament to Zach Brown. I really feel like he's led this team. Jack Keene's come a long way. Shane DeWolf is a winner, knows how to play in big games. And if you have to replace a Bagshaw, what's a better way to do it with another Bagshaw? Logan Bagshaw stepped up and hit some big shots. So, kudos to Travis Seaver and his staff. They've really gotten the most out of this team. I feel like they survived their big scare. Falmouth knew them best, took them to the wire. They survived that game. And now here they are back in the state final. It's down here in Portland. They've got to feel very good about their chances going up against a good Hampton Academy team.
They do. Steve, now you've seen Greeley, and I believe you talked to the Hampton coach. I mean, do you have a feel for this game?
Yeah, it's always a little hard because we don't get the opportunity to see a Hampton Academy. I know they played in the summertime. Everybody's poo-pooing the significance of that. But Hampton did beat them, and it sounds like they beat them pretty solidly. Hampton has one of the better big men who's definitely a post player in Ian McIntyre. He's a 1,000-point scorer, 500 rebounds. He's just announced today, one of the 3 finalists for Mr. Maine basketball. So, they're going to have to contain him. Plus, Hampton is a team that they have multiple scorers, 3 or 4 guys in double figures. So it's not just Ian McIntyre, although he is clearly their leading scorer. Both teams will want to get out and run and can do it successfully. Both teams apparently have shooters. Russ Bartlett, who's been down here, beaten Portland back in the day, not that long ago in a Class A final when there was just the 4 classes. He feels like it's going to come to Russ Bartlett being the Hampton Academy coach. He feels like it basically comes down to what most games come down to, who can execute what they do better, who maybe makes a few more big shots.
Now, in the girls, it's also Greeley versus Hampton. First time in history that only 2 schools are playing for the state championship in boys and girls. Michael, also Greeley is a team that they want to run. They get the 3-pronged attack, and Anna DeWolf, Brooke Obar, and Camille Clement. In the regional finals, they combined for 60 of the 64 points that the Rangers scored. But they're going up against a team that's significantly bigger than them. Hampton's got some pretty big plays, 6'3" center. What do you see in this one?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to definitely be a clash of styles. I think Hampton Academy is going to want to pound the post and see if they can get easy baskets. Greeley lives and dies for the most part by the outside shot anyway, so I don't think facing a bigger team is necessarily going to be a problem for them. It's how well they're shooting. Clement doesn't play like a freshman. She hits a lot of big shots. We know how special Anna DeWolf is. She can make it happen all over the floor. Brooke Obar did nothing in the first half of the regional final the other day, went off for 18 points in the second half, so she's a big part of what they do. But they have some role players who really have stepped up big in this tournament. Julia Martell has played some great defense, including the other day on Marley Grote. I know Coach Flaherty mentioned that after they won. Emma Sperry is going to have to do some battling down low for Greeley to be successful, and Madison Scott certainly has stepped up as well. So they've got a lot of players who can contribute.
I'm going to say Greeley's going to win this one if they can penetrate and dish out for the open 3-pointer. Yeah. If they're forced to go inside against Hampton, they're in trouble. Let's shift to Class A on Friday night.
Double A.
Double A. Yeah. Yes, Double A. Let's start with the girls there. Gorham against Edward Little. We saw them all. We've seen them all year. Gorham is the surprise team of the tournament, I believe. Team that lost 3 starters from a championship game last year. Team last year undefeated, and they came in and nobody thought they'd do well, and here they are. They peaked at the right time. They have looked incredibly impressive in the regional tournament.
I don't see a lot of the girls' games, but I'm just going to throw this in. Mackenzie Holmes is that perfect combination of the best player on the team who also looks like she's the best teammate when you watch them play. She's smiling, she hustles, she's a big, powerful girl who can run the court. And I get the sense, without having seen them play other than a few minutes in the tournament, she's really the reason why, and she's helped bring these younger players into the fold, and they want to play for her.
Well, they've got 2 freshmen who have stepped up in the tournament, Adele Neto and Olivia Mishu. They've combined for almost 20 points a game in the semifinals and finals, but it all revolves around Mackenzie Holmes. You're right. The boys' game, Michael?
Portland's not in it, so that's kind of newsworthy in and of itself. But, I've seen Edward Little a few times this year, and I was really impressed with them. I felt like all along, if anyone was going to get Portland, it might be Edward Little. They never got a chance to because Wyndham knocked them off. But they just have something special. They're an athletic team. They can shoot from the outside. They step up in close games. I saw them come from behind and win an overtime game at South Portland that looked lost. They just know what to do in tight situations. And then you've got the Scarborough team that's never even been to a regional final before. Now in a state game, they're flying high. They've got so much community support. This is going to be historic either way. It's either the first time someone wins since 1946 in Edward Little, or the first time ever for Scarborough. And as kind of a history nerd, I'm really looking forward to that aspect of it.
What do you think?
There's the logical side of me says that Edward Little will win this game in part because this is like year 2 or 3 of their progression, and they have a really dynamic player in Wall Maywin who can do a lot of different things. But there's also part of me that thinks I can see reasons why Scarborough would win. They're big and strong, maybe stronger inside than physically stronger, and they've got these carryover guys, 4 of them, that play various roles on the team from their first ever championship football team. So they have that winning attitude. And then I think they may have the best player that'll be on the court in Nick Fiorillo. The junior, 6'7", very versatile scorer. If he comes up big, if he makes plays, I think Scarborough wins the game.
Okay. Friday night in Bangor, we have the Class B state championship, Lake Region and Winslow. This is a game that you're going to have 2 teams that are very similar to each other. Neither one is very tall. They both like to run. They both like to play incredibly scrappy defense. I think this is going to be a real entertaining game to watch, but we're not going to be there. We're going to be in Portland. We're going to have to watch this on tape delay.
Absolutely.
But seriously,
record it.
I think, when you look at it, I'm going to give the Lakers the edge here because of coaching. You got Paul True, who's got over 300 career wins. He has brought that team together. I don't think anybody picked Lake Region to win Class B South this year either. Gray New Gloucester, maybe Poland even. I mean, that was a very balanced group this year, but Lake Region somehow found a way in the regional tournament to come through.
Right, and there's always a Hancock and a True who are performing well for that team, but some other girls really stepped up. Lauren Jacobs is certainly a big part of that team. The Shanks girl made some big shots against Freeport in the regional final, and I'm with you. I think anytime you have an even game, if you have Coach True on your team, I got to give them the edge. Even up there in a tough setting, Lake Region has won a state title up there recently. I think they have a great shot.
Well, he's been the coach at Lake Region for 14 years. They've been to the state championship game 7 times in those 14 years. So that's pretty impressive.
Not bad.
Not bad. That's a pretty good. Yeah. That is. I think that wraps it up, folks.
Well, we didn't talk about the Class B boys.
I'm sorry.
Don't forget about that.
We got to give Wells there too.
That's right. We do.
So Wells boys, second straight year they've made it to the state final. Last year it was a real shocker. They came, that they even beat Yarmouth and got to the state game. This year they were the number 1 seed in a league where everybody had at least 6 losses, and that's where you kind of wonder about this. Was Wells just the best team of a group of teams that were all flawed? Or are they really more prepared to compete against Herman, a team that has not lost all year, and similar to Hampden in the Class A boys, has a very diverse attack, multiple players that can do a lot of things. Interesting. One thing Troy Brown, the Wells coach, told me after they had beaten Cape Elizabeth to advance to the state game was that last year he learned that the northern teams move faster and shoot better than what they see in the Western Maine Conference. So he has this at least notion that they're going to have to do things a little bit differently this year. That could help them. They do have 3 carryovers, no returning starters, but 3 carryovers from last year's team that made it to the States, where Herman is making their first appearance since 2000. So none of their guys have been on this stage before. I kind of like Herman, though.
Yeah.
I just feel like the undefeated team's got the edge there.
I've heard nothing but good things about Herman all year, whether it's from Yarmouth or Cape people. It's almost the message was it doesn't matter who goes to states because Herman is head and shoulders above everyone else. But this Wells team keeps finding a way. They were 1 seed. A lot of people thought they were going to lose to Freeport in the quarterfinals, but they got through this region. Their big guys are really special, and obviously Sherburne, what he can do in close games is well documented. So I give them a puncher's chance, but yeah, I think Herman's got to be the favorite in that one.
I'm going to say this. I've only seen Wells in the tournament. They always seem to come up with the big play at the big time. I'm going to go with the Warriors in this one.
Well, all the Wells fans will like you better, so that's good. But I will say that Sherburne was extremely clutch against Cape Elizabeth, and who knows? That's just part of the fun of these state finals.
Absolutely.
Let's face it, the one thing about these state championship games is the team that's win is the team that's going to impose its will on the other team. It's going to play at its tempo, and it's going to make the big plays. And each of these teams that have been there have done that over the course of the year. Otherwise, they wouldn't be here. But, I think we're looking forward to a great wrap-up to the high school basketball season.
Can't wait.
Should be fun.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for joining us, and make sure you follow all our pre-championship workups in the forecast in the Portland Press Herald at pressherald.com or in the daily paper. Visit Varsity, Maine. You'll see everything there, and make sure you read about all these games on our website and in our newspapers. Thanks.